Hey everyone, and welcome to episode 10. Fuck, we made it to episode 10.
I know, we're here.
Holy shit.
Going strong.
Going strong.
Want to give a shout out to everyone who's been watching this far.
And liking it for us. Thanks guys, we appreciate it.
And feel free to give us comments. But yeah, this is episode 10 and we're going to be talking about Sling TV and HBO Go. And
so we're going to be talking about cable cutting because sure, like you don't want to have any cable bills or deal with cable companies or anything to do with cable contracts. I mean, like, there's so many different tactics they use, right? But you know what?
They got themselves in. They built a huge infrastructure. Of course, they're going to sell it. Like
you know what?
Right?
Yeah, no. I have a lot of friends that have moved out on their own, and they don't want cable. So they've been resorting to getting a $50, $100 HD antenna, which is great. Yeah. But doesn't give you everything, right? So for
it's the local stuff, right?
It's local stuff, right? So for $19.99 US. You can use Sling TV. Yeah. So Sling TV is made by Dish Network, and I guess it's their foray into IPTV or Internet TV.
And it's not to be confused with the Sling box.
Yeah, no, they're two different things.
They are two different things. Similar ideas, but very different. In the fact that the Sling box is an actual hardware unit that you're going to buy to sling your actual services off of, whereas Sling TV is a portal on a web browser or an app that you can get for mobile that will allow you to watch TV anywhere.
Exactly, right? So it works, it works really well when you're using it. However, like, they tried to make it work. So for example, March Madness was on, okay? I mean, everybody in the US goes crazy. Everyone in Canada was crazy for March Madness. And it fucked up. It faltered.
Well, essentially what happened is they followed the same sort of fault lines that HBO Go did when they first launched. They are internally making and providing all of their data support, all of their, all of their facilities which actually produce the streaming. So when you have to deal with that and you have all of these resources inside, you have no way and no gates or benchmarks to actually be like, okay, this is the traffic I'm going to get in, these are the requests I'm going to get in, so I have to put everything out. So Sling TV got fucked when it came to March Madness and when it came to Game of Thrones, because they also fucked up the Game of Thrones season premiere, which was great. Because also on Slingbox you can actually get HBO Go essentially.
Yeah, so HBO Go costs $15. You can get it included in Sling TV for $19.99. Is it not included in the base package?
No, you're going to be adding another $15 on.
Okay, so you can get both. It's the same fucking price though, right? Like, well, that makes no sense.
It's so that you can use the apps.
The application, one application, okay. Yep. So for convenience factors, I'm going to be paying for both. Whatever, that's fine. Anyway, so the HBO app works phenomenal. However, it's only HBO shows. So...
And it's not Canada.
Well... I mean, you can't use Sling TV in Canada unless you have VPN either way, right?
Yeah, I know.
So, I mean, either way, these services are not meant for Canadians because obviously we pay too much for everything as it is.
Well, our content providers just like to sell the content to big companies so that we can't use them.
Yep, that's how it works, right? So, anyways, so when it comes down to it, I mean, most people who are cable cutters are going to want to keep the cost short and the content big. So, I mean, I find a lot of my friends are streaming everything in general. I mean, like illegally, or they're pirating things, which, it's not the way to go, obviously, because, I mean, fuck, I understand it's free. When you do that, you hurt everyone as a whole, because...
The whole thing about piracy, and usually where pirates start to fall under, because there's dedicated pirates that are going to pirate everything, and there's people who want to pay for stuff that are pirating because there's no other option. There's the two categories, right? So when it becomes affordable and convenient with a great quality, that's when you see people switch over, which is like HBO Go, and which is what we have now. Only now, sort of in the last 6 months to a year, have the streaming services actually identified, okay, this is how we're going to fight piracy. We're going to have these contents, we're going to put them out there, and it's going to be a prime price, it's going to be good quality, it's going to be dedicated.
Okay, look, who's winning with that? I know they're not doing live TV, but who's winning with that is Netflix with their subscription model, right? I mean,
essentially they did it right first, and now everyone's catching up.
Everyone's trying to catch up, like for $7 or $8, depending on where you are in the world. Even $12, I think, some places, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you have all the access to all their array of shows. In Canada, you kind of get screwed because you don't get everything. However, you still get a lot, right?
Yep.
And it works really well. I understand it's not live TV, but as far as content goes, I mean, it puts a pretty stop on a pretty big stop on piracy, at least here, right? And in the U.S. in certain aspects.
And there's also other things like in our country, in Canada, we have things like Show Me and other stuff like that, which are available as long as you have an internet connection.
Okay, so here's the problem with what I've been seeing with those things, and not to bash them, because I don't know if you've used either Show Me or Crave, but they're
not the best.
No. Actually, they're pretty good for what they are, man. They really are, right? They're not bad. And obviously, if you have either provider like Bell or
Rogers or Telus.
Well, Bell. No. Well, I think it's Bell, Telus, and MTS, and then Rogers and
Rogers and who?
Rogers and
Show Me.
Oh, jeez.
Shaw.
Rogers and Shaw. Yeah, there you go. So Rogers and Shaw. Rogers and Shaw would be Show Me, Bell and Telus, and I believe MTS. Crave. Okay. So Crave is $4 a month, but it's included in most plans for free. Show Me is $9 a month. Fuck, it's $12. So it's $12 a month. It offers a lot. But I mean, like, look in direct competition, for $4 you get a lot more. You get documentaries as well on Crave. The reason why I'm not a big fan of them is because you have to have a cable subscription to get them.
Oh, do you? I thought it was you had to have an internet connection.
I mean, from my understanding, regardless, you have to be subscribed with one of them. Yep. What if I'm with a smaller company like Tech Savvy? Because I can't afford to do everything.
Well, not only that, but Tech Savvy, you get a lot better price for your dollar because they exist in a tariff. Right? It's subsidized by the government.
And I understand that completely, but the problem is, what about if I want to get that and use something like Show Me? It doesn't work.
Well, that's the anti-competitiveness inside of Canada, though. Like, if we were somewhere else where we're dealing with a Netflix or someone else who actually has over-the-top service, they're not dealing with the service providers to bring you the content. That's where you get the total free market. I'm going to go here. I'm going to give him my $12, and I'm going to still get this at the best price.
And that's the reason why Canadians are resorting to piracy, because they either have to pony up and pay for a VPN, which isn't very expensive, but the majority of Canadians have no fucking clue how to use a VPN. Well, actually, the majority of consumers in general have no fucking clue how to use a VPN, right?
Of the people that stream, there's probably a small percentage who can logistically do this every time, and it makes sense for them to VPN, do all that kind of stuff.
You're right. Or for people, even people who are stupid, they go out to these places somehow who give them an Android box with Kodi and Project Free TV or Popcorn Time on it, and they're fucking laughing. So why would they go spend money, right? So the Canadian government needs to wake the fuck up. And I mean, they are kind of helping out people like that. But regardless, as far as cable cutting goes,
it is very
Sling TV. I mean, works pretty good for your dollar. Just remember that it's $19.99 US. So if you're in Canada, for 40 channels. So you can add obviously sports packs here and there. They're $5 per pack. You know, other packs. Yeah. Now the price point is great. Okay, the price point is great. The problem is, again, it uses internet obviously. So you have to have high bandwidth or you're fucked. It only available in the US. So unless you know how to use a VPN, you're not going to be able to access it.
No.
And right now there's some hiccups obviously that they're dealing with, like
it's just the scaling. They need to scale.
It's the scaling. They're gonna figure it out. Okay, I mean, they're gonna figure it out. Obviously, it's a big company. I mean, it's brought to you by the Dish Network or DirecTV. But one of them, either way, it's a big. They're big.
It's from Dish, which is DirecTV.
Which is they're big. Right. They're big regardless, right? So I'm sure they'll figure it out. But HBO Go, again, if you're only okay with watching HBO shows, which the majority of us, I mean, aren't, obviously. If you want to see local news or you want to see something like that, you can't do that. The majority of people will be like, you know what, we are just going to stick with the TV, with Sling TV. Yep. But if you want to get the other one, it's $15 and it works flawlessly.
Yep.
You want to get both, you're looking at $35 US. So again, even if you're in Canada, it's $15 US for right now. And you need to use a VPN, which can cost like what, anywhere between $2 to $10 a month. You have to know how to use a VPN. You have to know how to, I mean, if most people either want to put it on their router to VPN everything, to use everything uses that one gateway, or some people want to use it on a specific device. Either way, you have to know how to do it. The most important thing here is you need to know what a VPN is, because some people don't know what a VPN is.
Virtual private connection.
This is a virtual private network. So what it does is it basically tricks your... it connects from Canada to a separate server in, we'll say, New York City, and then from New York City to wherever you're going, your end gateway, right?
Essentially, it sets up a small network between your house and New York. You go there, no one really sees it. But when you go onto the internet,
because
we're in Toronto, it's just a very close place to the States.
It's closer to the U.S., right?
So it would pop up in New York, and then it would go out to the actual internet. So from New York, it would get routed and addressed and all that kind of stuff. So a server like Netflix or a server like HBO Go will be like, oh, this is an American IP address from an American provider. Cool. I can provide this content. I can greenlight it. Yeah. And then it sort of slips it underneath and then passes it to Canada.
Also, if you want to watch things like Hulu.
Yep. Hulu's a great source.
Hulu is actually great. Hulu is great. You know, we'll touch on Hulu on one of the other episodes, because I don't think it merits it. So Hulu is basically like Netflix, but for TV shows only. Well, it's and certain TV shows.
NBC,
I mean, like
Fox and that kind of stuff. Right?
Yeah, I mean, like if you like Family Guy, Key and Peele, stuff like that, it works. The problem is, I believe they're cracking down on VPN services. So if you are in Canada, not so much. I don't know, but if you're cracking down, if you're in Canada and you're trying to use that, they might be cracking down on it. So I wouldn't, go, because I think it's like another $8 or $9 a month. So that's the problem. When you add all this shit together, you're looking at $40 a month anyways.
Which is your basic cable.
Which is basic cable service, which makes sense. But I mean, you're also wasting data. So I mean, you have to really, if you watch fucking nothing on TV, it's perfect for you. But if you start watching something and you don't want to pirate, I mean, it's not really, it's not really a super viable option. I mean, I would wait until prices get cheaper or more content is added, right? So I would stick to Netflix for now. But if you got no other option and you want to get something and you want live TV, like news stations or sports networks, you have to get Sling.
Yep.
If you don't care about that and you want to watch things like Game of Thrones or, I mean, any kind of HBO series, you're going to want HBO Go. So, and HBO Go does not require a cable subscription. It's a standalone service on its own.
Just have to be from the States.
Just have to be from the States for now, right? So, I mean, I think we're going to end it at that.
So pretty much what we just want to say is cutting the cord is something that we've all been talking about for a long time, and a lot of us have been trying to do. And in certain places, it's really feasible. There are places out there where cutting the cord to cable, you will not lose any content, really, and you will still have the same quality, but more on demand. Here in Canada, or other countries similar to Canada, cutting the cord isn't as feasible as what other people in the world experience. We're gated, and we're just waiting for it now. We're waiting for that separation between ISP and content.
Well, never mind Canada. I mean, even Europe. You know what I mean? I mean, you can also go as far as to get like the Xbox Digital Tuner, which allows you to stream TV to like your computer as well. That's a new feature coming up in the Xbox One app. So, I mean, there are different options. We only touched on a few. If you live in the US and you want to be a cable cutter and $20 isn't much for you, and you're okay with not getting HBO, I mean, by all means, remember, you also have to be okay with bandwidth allocation, and you also have to have an internet connection that isn't shit.
Basically, you'd want to cap about 300 gigs.
Okay, I don't know about that, depending on how much fucking TV you watch, but I think you should be okay with 150 to 200 for personal use, and you have to have at least a 5 up and 5 down minimum.
Yeah.
But then at that point, you're going to be watching TV and you can't surf the web at all, which also is another thing. It degrades quality of service when you're doing both, right? So, I mean, that's a double-edged sword as well. But so that's it for episode 10. If you guys have any questions about anything else, or I mean, our experience with either one of these, you can ask questions, and we actually use the VPN to access them.
Yep.
So let us know what you think. You fucking hate us, tell us.
Questions, comments,
leave
trollings,
below. Whatever
you want down
here,
below, please.
And hit subscribe if you like us. That'll be great. I mean, we'll probably subscribe back to you because we're not douchebags. And that's it. If you watch this whole video, we fucking, like, you're amazing. We love you. Yeah, that should be it for now.
Yeah. So, and we'll see you next time on The Tech Lane.
Take care. Have a good one.